Morning, folks. Day soap is brought to us by Strike Gold Shave. This one here is called Wilson, and buy, sell, trade is about the only way you're going to find this. This was the second soap that I got from Frank, and I think this came out in 2016, maybe November-ish. I can't remember for sure. It's been a while. This particular one came in a 4-ounce container. 4 ounces of soap, and I think they're selling most of their soaps at a 5-ounce container, I guess you might say. And I also have the matching aftershave. For me, I thought I had this written down as goes for what the scent profile is, and if I do, I haven't been able to locate it just yet. My nose, I can't tell you one way or the other what the scent profile is on this one. I've got it whipped up here in my wooden bowl here, and it's wet. Yeah, there we go. It's just about dripping, and you kind of see, yeah, it's moving in there. This is a Ever Ready brush that I got from Strike Gold Shave. He revived it, put a new knot in for me. It's a pretty nice badger knot. Shaver of the day has a Personna blade in it. See if I can get that brush to stand up. This one here, I have a polished version that I think is referred to as the yeah, it's a custom. That's what they refer to it as. I've had it for a while, and I went ahead and picked up this one here, which is another polished version, except for this one here is copper. It's a good looking shaver. Has some weight behind it. Could not tell you how much it weighs. I need to get a scale so that way I can figure out how much it weighs, but it does have some weight behind it. You get all 3 plates. And this one here, I'm starting out with the 2-dot plate. There we go. That's what the blade looks like in there, Personna blade. I went ahead and checked it out just to make sure that the blade looked good. Every once in a while, you might get one that's look like it's got some gremlins that's been eaten on the edge. Don't have that problem quite so much with Personna blades, but Schick blades I seem to run into that problem a little bit more. It might have something to do with how old they are. Who knows? Ordered to put a hot towel to the face this morning. We'll get started with the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Christmas cube, Preshave cube here. But I've had good luck with Personna blades. They've been my go-to blades. And Supply also has their injector blades that come with it's a plastic dispenser. There we go. I'm thinking about sneezing. I can feel it irritating my nose already. Like I say, I couldn't tell you how much they weigh, but I mean they feel like they're all of 3 ounces, if not more. They got some weight behind them. Feel good in the hand. I guess you might say there is one thing about these versions that are polished. I don't have to worry so much about the finish, if you will. Go right back to polishing them up. I will say that both of these versions, the polished version that I have and this one here that's polished copper, they're fingerprint magnets, so if that's one of those things that kind of have a tendency to bother you, that's something to be aware of. It attracts the fingerprints. All right, yes, definitely a wet lather this morning. Squeeze some of that out. I've had this brush for a little while. I think it says a 150 on the bottom. Kind of a nice style. I am unsure, speaking of Ever Ready brushes, I am unsure what the thought process is with a Heritage collection, whether they plan on reviving one like this one here. Got a hair there, it's trying to come out. Yes, I did get this a little bit wetter than normal. It's going to be one of those days. I think for the past, 3 days, been slopping lather everywhere. Either through the lathering process or while I'm applying it. It is a nice, for the life of me, I cannot remember what the scent profile is on this one. I say I've had this one here for a moment, so wherever I had it written down at, either I've did a great job of hiding it. Maybe I'll find it. If I do, I'll post it down below. It might be on the video itself. I don't know if I can find it. Like I say, I did look for it and I was not successful in finding it. The two dot plate is considered to be classic, and for me, it's the well, there's 3 plates altogether. So this one here, I would consider the middle of the road. The blade feel is there. I don't feel like it's aggressive on the 2 dot. The 1 dot's very smooth in my opinion. In other words, there's not a whole lot of blade feel. Might be a good place for some folks to start. Especially if you're unfamiliar with the an injector and of course the blades, because there's different blade sources that you can get these through. Ted Pelham is a pretty good blade source at a reasonable price in my opinion. A lot like Personna, your dispenser will come with about 20 blades. And I can't remember, I'm wanting to say the last time I looked there at Ted Pella, I think they're selling it $5.75 for 20. For me, the 2 dot works just fine. I don't find anything wrong with the 3 dot. It's just that I guess you might say the 2 dot is that sweet spot in between the two that works well for me. I could go with the 3 dot plate without a problem. It's just this one here seems just a touch smoother. Probably just depends on where you're where you're at with what you prefer with your shave. For me, the looking at it from shaving with it on a daily basis, I think for me the 2 dot would be the best one to use on a daily basis. I think that's one of the reasons why I keep it at the 2 dot. The 1 dot you can use on a daily basis. I just don't think for me it's quite as efficient as the 2 dot. This badger knot's kind of an interesting knot in that the bristles are really soft when they're wet, not so much when they're dry. And I have some brushes that are got badger knots with the knot itself when it's dry feels pretty decent. In other words, it doesn't feel scritchy or anything. This one here, when it's dry, it feels scritchy. I am not sure why it's like that. Maybe I just don't get it rinsed out enough because it's packing quite a bit of lather in there. That copper does look cool though. Going price for a shaver like this, including all 3 plates, is about $75, which is a pretty decent buy. When I got my other polished version there, if I remember right, it was at a discount. I can't remember exactly how much the discount was, but I'm wanting to say I got it at the same price, but the everyday price, I guess you might say, was somewhat higher than that when I got the custom. There we go. I think at that point in time, in other words, this was early on, where the you paid more for all 3 plates versus just getting 1 plate. And this copper here comes with all 3 plates for the $75 price range. So Definitely a smooth shaver for me. Like I say, Personna blades work well for me. I've had good luck with them. There is not much left. I got some right through here. That's about all I got left in the way of whiskers. It's pretty well done. Not much left. I cannot remember for the life of me what this. I wish I would, could remember it. I'll look again. I got one more spot I think I haven't looked yet, where I may have written this down from back in the day. I know I have changed up, I guess you might say, my routine when I post videos. I try to not only put the links down below on what I'm using, but also if I remember to put the scent profile on the posting itself, so that way if it becomes an attainium type situation, that I still have the scent profile of the soap. Can't put my finger on it. Like I say, I've had this one here for a while. Trying to remember, I think Madison was the first soap. And I think this one here was the second, if I remember right. For me, against the grain, the 2-dot offers just a little bit on the feedback. And for me, the 3-dot offers more of a feedback on the against the grain pass. For me, this lather is whipped up just right. It is really, really wet. Rinses off pretty easy. As well as cleans up pretty easy off the razor. Most of my razors, I'll go ahead and I take a moment right after I get done. It's just real quick. Use a cotton swab, Q-tip in other words. Clean up my razors when I get done. To me, it just seems to work out better that way. That way I don't have a considerable amount of soap build up on my shavers. Keeps them relatively clean. They're not spotless by any means, but it doesn't take but a quick moment to wipe them down when it's, I guess you might say, not dried out and caked on there. If you've ever shaved, if you ever went to an antique store and found some of these razors, they got, soap that just caked on them. For me, soaking them in really hot water with like Dawn dishwashing liquid seems to help break it loose and easy to remove. But if you got a twist to open, that soap gets down in there in that mechanism and kind of has an effect on how well it opens and closes. Really smooth face this morning. I think not Abe. It's I think it's Hoover that should be coming back out, and that have a slightly different label to it than what the other version. I plan on doing a video here pretty soon with Hoover. Hoover is the one that the scent profile comes close to Skin Bracer. So in other words, if you didn't want to spend the money for the aftershave and you already have Skin Bracer, there you go. And that's what I've got, a Skin Bracer to go with Hoover. Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Crown King Alum Block, complete with rubber band this morning. Gonna see. I think this should be pretty good. Usually with the 2-dot plate, I don't get a whole lot of stinging, if any. Right there. Every once in a while, there's a spot right through here that starts to sting every once in a while, and I think it's trying to come back up. Just a little bit of stinging, not a whole lot. Right there. You might be able to see it in the video. I got a little bit of a red spot trying to come up right there. We were out running errands yesterday, so we decided to stop in at Marshall, see if we find any treasures we couldn't live without. And kind of mentioned this before, that Humphrey's witch hazel, the containers are changing or have changed. And so the old ones, I guess you might say, have been deeply discounted. And at Marshall's they had a couple of containers, one with a broken cap, but since it had a security seal it wasn't leaking. And then there was one more, and both of them were $2 a piece. Great find. Yeah, I picked them both up. That was the last of the two that I could find in there. Then they had I think a Thayer's unscented, I think for $6, but Humphrey's $2. Went ahead and went with those. Got two of those cheaper than the Thayer's. But I was thinking I could take the one with the broken cap and refill this one and use some frost drops, and that way I've got my unscented but mentholated witch hazel again. I'll just have to adjust accordingly with how many drops I put in there. It'll be interesting to see how that works out for me. This is a plastic container. The current ones are glass, but they are brown in color. And this one here, if you ever find one like this, that's what their plastic restrictor looks like. I wish I could remember what the scent profile was on this. It does smell good though. No, it's just not coming to mind. And no matter how many times I smell it. Yesterday when I was setting this up, I'd open the puck, smell it, think about it for a moment, and it just could not get it to come back to mind what the what the scent profile is on this one here. We had a great shave today. And also, if you're wondering, that thumb screw right there, they do sell these thumb screws, and this one here's got a spring in behind it. Runs about, I think it's $4 if I remember correctly. And yesterday was the first time I ever actually used the injector key, inserted it here and actually put the blade in and worked just perfect. That's the first and only time I've ever tried it, because otherwise I just take it apart, place the blade in there, put it back together. I've never used the key with one of these and decided, and what the heck, I'll try it one time, see how it works. And it worked just perfectly. Like I said, the one that I've got, my Personna dispenser, had a great shave today. Hope everybody's doing well. Weather here's been really nice. Temperature's been close to 50 for January. That is just, those are beautiful days, that's for sure. Stay safe, stay healthy, and smooth shaves to you.